Hey everyone, this is Jonathan from Guitar Player Academy here, and today we're going over the 5 best arpeggios that you should know. This is actually a continuation of the 5 best chord voicings you should know. It's all based off of that. For the arpeggios, we are doing a part 1 and a part 2. I just feel like since we're going over 2 types of arpeggios per chord, I don't want to be throwing 10 arpeggios at you guys in one 15-minute video. I feel like it wouldn't do it justice, and there's a lot to talk about with each arpeggio. So if you guys are looking forward to part 2, if you learned anything from part 1, like this video, comment what you learned, right? And at the same time, while you're on the channel, you might as well subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you never miss a Guitar Player Academy video again. So with that being said, let's get into it. So the first arpeggio that we're gonna go over here is the major 7, right? Everything very similar to the chords. We're just gonna go over everything as if everything's based off C, right? So C major 7 arpeggio, C minor 7 arpeggio, C dominant 7 arpeggio. That way you guys can see the note differences here, right? So starting off with this shape right here. Right? All we're doing is we're outlining this chord. So we have our roots as C, right? This is the 3rd fret, 2nd finger. Then we have E, which is on the E, A, D string, 2nd fret. That's the 3rd, major 3rd. Then we have the 5th, which is G. This is on the 5th fret, the E, A, D string. That's your 1, 3, 5, based off of the C major scale. 1, 3, 5. Here's your major 7. This is a B natural. This is the 4th fret G string. I'm using my my ring finger to cover that, since I'm doing middle, index, pinky, ring. Then you want to resolve it back to our C. Here's our E natural again, the 3rd. That's on the 5th fret B string. You'll notice I shift, so I put my index finger on the 3rd fret now for our 5th, which is the G, on the E string. So again. One more time. This is a little bit of a stretch. If your hands are too small or you don't have the finger strength yet, you don't have to hit this high B. I just feel like it's just out of our reach, so you kind of have to stretch, but at the same time, it can add a lot when you're soloing, right? This is the 3rd, 5th, 7th fret E string. That's the B natural. Okay, that's our major 7. Walk it down. If you want, you can hit that major 7, the B natural. If you want the 5th. But really, right? That's our C major arpeggio, C major 7 arpeggio, root on the 5th string. Now, if we're going to the 6th string root, it's actually pretty simple. The thing I want to point out is this staircase shape. We'll go over the fingerings in a second, but if you get lost, just remember how it slopes, right? It's all about the slope. So, very similar to our C string, to our 5th string fingering, we're doing C, E, G, same fingering, same fingering, C, E, 7th fret, G on the 12th, 11th, 10th fret, right? 9th fret, 10th fret, right? And just remember that slope. E natural, which is on the 7th, 9th fret, G string, right? That's our 5th, that's our G. That is on the 8th fret, B string. Oh, here's that B natural with our index. Resolve it to the 1. Very slowly now. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, E, G, B, C, E, G, B, C. Walk it down. You can also hit, that'd be natural there. As you see though, you notice how it goes middle, index, pinky, ring, middle, index, pinky, ring. Pretty much the same. A great lick to do over this while I'm thinking of it, honestly, is this. It was nicknamed to me the Wizard of Oz lick. I'm gonna do some lick breakdowns eventually of licks to play over these chords, but that's definitely a go-to jazz one. So those are major 7s. Let's talk about the dominant 7. The fingering is going to be pretty much exactly the same, minus, instead of a major 7 with a B natural, we're going to turn that into a B flat. So it's going to be very similar, just slightly different. So again, we have our C, E, and G. Root, major 3rd, 5th. Nothing different. Here's the difference. Here's that dominant 7, that flat 7. You know how we did a B natural with our ring finger? We're going to do it with a flat 7. This flat 7 is the B flat. It is on the G string. It is on the 3rd fret. B flat. Right? There's that B flat again. Root, 3rd, 5th, flat 7, 1, 3, 5. Same thing as our major 7. That's the difference, the B flat. So that is the 3rd, 5th, 6th fret E string, a B flat. Slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1st, 3rd, 5th, flat 7, 1, 3, 5, flat 7. Again, you can go and reach for those flat 7 and the 5 if you would like, but just so you know, you don't really have to, but that's just within the position, so I figured I'd point it out. So, right? Let's do it here. Now, it's going to be very, very, very similar to our major 7, right? Because again, all we're changing is that B flat. So we have our C, our E, our G. Now, for the major 7, we'd hit that B natural, but we're going to flat it for the flat 7. There it is, right? That again is a B flat. In this position, it is on the 8th fret D string. I'm gonna shift there. Instead of doing it with my ring finger, I'm gonna hit that E natural on the G string with my middle finger. You'll see why. Right? We had the shift up a half step to grab that flat 7. So C, E, G, B flat, C, E, same thing, G, same thing, here's the difference, B flat, root. Let's practice it slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Roots, 3rd, 5th, flat 7, 1, 3rd, 5, flat 7, 1. Whenever you see a 7 chord, right? It's just stuff like that. A lot of jazz and a lot of, I guess, upper theory stuff, if you think about it, is really just arpeggios and how to expand on them and then how to play through them, right? So even just a simple little things like that, all I'm playing are the chord tones in the arpeggio, but it unlocks a really hip, safe sound to use on dominant 7 chord. So the last one we're going over is the minor 7 arpeggio, right? Now think of it as if being built off of a dominant 7. We already have the root, we have the 5th, and we have the flat 7. Now we need to turn that major 3rd that we've been using so religiously into a minor 3rd, which means we need to flat it, right? So if we're in the key of C, our 3rd is typically E. But now it needs to become E flat. Has a darker tone to it, right? So instead of starting with my middle finger here, I'm actually going to plant my index down on the C. So we have C, E flat, which is on the 6th fret A string. That's our minor 3rd. But our 5th is still the same. G. We have a B flat there. But that's the same thing as our dominant 7 chord, right? So 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7, 1. Again, this is all pretty much on the 3rd, 5th strings. The only thing that really stretches out is the minor 3rd on the 6th string. Alright, there's the minor 3rd again. How you play that? Again, that's our E flat. That's on the 4th fret, B string. There's the G. And we can reach much easier than that major 3rd with our pinkies again. For that flat 7. The flat 7 is on root 6 fret, E string, high E string. Again, it's a B flat. Very slowly now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty simple, right? When you're building it like that. This is even easier, I find, right? So we're gonna mimic that shape, 1, 4, 1, 4, 3 with our fingers here. Index, pinky, ring. Same thing. C, E flat, it's on the 11th fret, E string, G. Notice that pattern. 1, 4, 3, 1, 3. 1, 4, 3, 1, 3. Guitar is just a bunch of patterns, especially with arpeggios. They all leak over. C, E flat, G, B flats. Same exact thing. Right? Here's the change. This is our E flat on the G string. That is on the 8th fret. Still on the 8th fret, but B string is our 5. Here's our flat 7, B flat with our pinky on the 11th fret. And there's our root, C. So very slowly here from the 2nd octave. We can grab that E flat again too, because same notes. But that's pretty much it. That's the arpeggios in both of those positions that we would learn, or in both those positions. So now if you're playing, you know, that's all just based off the arpeggios. Right? Or you know, it's all based off of those arpeggios. So please take the time, memorize these shapes, be able to move them around the fretboard, and implement them into your playing. One of the #1 things I hear from really skilled musicians who are like listening to other musicians is when you can hear that they are in the changes. They call them changes, which is just a fancy term for chords. When you can hear that they really know what they're playing when they're playing and outlining the changes. That's when you earn brownie points as a guitar player. Trust me, I know it because I came in not playing changes to a lot of jazz events, and I would just solo through it, and they'd be like, yeah, that's great, but what chord you on? And I'd say, I don't know, I'm just hearing it, which is true, but quoting chords, very useful. So, if you learned anything from this video, please like it. Don't forget to subscribe and to hit that notification bell. We are coming out with a part 2 where we're going to go over the half diminished, otherwise known as the minor 7 flat 5, and then the fully diminished. So, with that being said, keep coming back and keep on shedding because we want to make you the best guitar player that you can be.